everybody, it's Joe Floria from the Township Committee, and just want to welcome you here to this bicentennial event we had here, honoring the Four Seasons group, naming a street for that great group that emanated here in New Jersey, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. We're very honored today to have several of the children of these great performers with us here today. I have one of them here with me now is Bob Gordio's daughter, is Danielle. Danielle, hello. Thanks for coming to
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having us. It's been quite an honor to be here at Costco in Union, New Jersey for the street naming, Four Seasons Lane, and we're all very proud to be here to represent our fathers.
You know, as you've heard the story before and you've seen it, you know, they got their name right here in the old Four Seasons bowling alley, but you know, this group are mostly from New Jersey. I think your father started from New York, didn't you? Originally from Brooklyn? Bronx,
New
right?
Jersey.
Right, to New Jersey. You know, but Danielle's almost following in her father's footsteps. Tell us about this great CD that you put together.
I just want to share it with everyone because I actually persuaded my dad to put together some musical arrangements of some of his best songs, which are on this CD that everyone will recognize. They're instrumentals and they're done really in a magical way that even adults love listening, but it was geared towards babies. Toddlers love it, and I'm just really proud of it because it came out so much better than I ever imagined. Robbie Robinson, who's been Frankie Valli's musical director for over 30 years now, worked on all these arrangements, and it really shows in the CD. I'm going to give you guys a copy. They're selling it here in Costco in Union, New Jersey, and you can also go on to my website, which is www.jerseybabieswithany.com. You can hear samples of it there. They're selling it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all over. This is my sister Lisa and Darcel. If you want to grab them in here, we're all Jersey babies. We're grown Jersey babies. Now we're Jersey women.
Yeah, Jersey women, right?
Jersey women.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Lisa Darcel, right? Ami DeVito's daughter and Bob Gordio's other daughter here. You're with us here. So thankful you came out here tonight. This is, this is going to our local TV station, just so you know. Okay, and you already talked to your sister. Why don't you say a few words about the event here today?
It was awesome. It was really good. Good time.
It was.
Sorry my dad couldn't be here, but we were here.
Yeah, well, listen.
Second best thing, right?
Darcel?
Second best. And Darcel lives here in New Jersey still, so she'll get to see it on TV. We're going to miss it. She'll take it for us, right, Darcel?
As I said earlier, it was really a great event. And again, I personally, as I said earlier in the event, I grew up in the city of New York, so I came, very close to knowing like Frankie Valli. Some of my family did from Stephen Crane Village, and we talked to Tony Valli and the group up, and I grew up with that music too. It was really so very great. But we really want to thank all of you for coming out. I mean, this is our bicentennial year here, and this is a very special moment for us. It's very special for Jersey. The Jersey Boys, great show. Love it. Hope that CD does great.
I hope the CD does really great too. Start them off at babies and up, listening to the music.
Well, I haven't heard that, so we'll see. Maybe we'll go. Okay. Again, thanks for coming out.
Thank you very much. Really, thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everybody, and a very beautiful day for a very beautiful occasion. I'd like to bring up to the microphone a very special person in the town of Union, Brenda Restivo, from the Township of Union Committee woman.
Thank you, and what a beautiful day. I wish all of our bicentennial events would go this smoothly. We haven't had cooperation with the weather, but for those of you here from Frankie's family and from the Four Seasons families, this is Union's 200th birthday this year. So this day is very appropriate for all of us because certainly Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons are a big part of our history. And not everybody that's lived in this town is familiar with the Four Seasons bowling alley. It was taken down somewhere in the past 10 years and replaced with Costco. And I think today what we are doing is we are going to memorialize what the rest of us have known is where the Four Seasons got their name. And this will be forever a reminder to the residents of the Township of Union. And again, we're just so thankful to have all of you here. We welcome all of the guests. And now I know what I need to do to get people to come out to our bicentennial events. Just have Frankie Valli, the Four Seasons, and family members, and all of you will come out and join us. So I'm just really, really very pleased that you're all here today. And welcome to the Township of Union and the new site of Costco at the old site of Four Seasons Bowling Alley. I would now like to ask Committeeman Joseph Florio to come forward to read the proclamation, and I know he has a few words because we both grew up with Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons and have history to remember. And one thing I do have to say, though, that I'm very disappointed at the crowd out here, because with all that music playing, nobody was up dancing. So when this is over with, I expect to see you all out there dancing. So, Joe, please.
Thank you very much, Brenda. Welcome everybody here to the Township of Union. This is a very special day for us, and I do have a proclamation that we're going to present to the family members of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. But as Brenda said, I would just like to put a few personal words. I hate to admit it, but I did grow up in the 50s and the 60s, and I come from Newark. And I remember Frankie Valli. I know some of my family knew Frankie when he was young, the Stephen Crane Village area of Newark, and a lot of them in the Belleville area. And remember that, right? My family actually lived there for a while. But, you know, you take a look at the music, and, you know, back in the 60s, I didn't even know there was a Four Seasons bowling alley. We used to get a couple of quarters together to go down to the Jersey Shore. That's where the gallon of gas cost back in the 60s, right? I didn't know about Union. That was the hinterlands. But it's amazing that when you read the story, you think about the story about how you did come up here, and they got the name and went on to fame, and, you know, there are a couple of songs that propelled them. But, you know, there's a lot of one-hit wonders, as they say, on the rock and roll stations, right? Well, that sure heck wasn't the case for Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, who went on for years and years. And I think, you know, when you talk about music and how it transcends the ages, you can say a lot of the older music is popular with some of us older folks, but when you take a look at the Broadway hit, The Jersey Boys, they don't fill up that theater every single night now for a couple of years with just us old people. There's a lot of young people who are going to those shows who really appreciate the great music of Frankie Valli, and really the extremely interesting stories of some of us characters who grew up in the Newark area. But some of them became very successful and very popular. And again, like I said, I want to thank all of you, and especially thank the members of the family who could find the time to come out here to Union, be part of our bicentennial celebration. With that, I would like to read this proclamation. We have one for each of the family, and it states this: the Four Seasons Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, presented on June 25th, 2008. Whereas the legendary musical group, the Four Seasons, began almost 50 years ago on the streets of New Jersey. And whereas in 1961, the Four Seasons derived their name from a bowling alley of the same name, once located at 1182 West Chestnut Street in Union, New Jersey. And whereas the Four Seasons were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1990, and whereas on June 25th, 2008, the Township of Union herein acknowledges the Four Seasons as a world-famous music attraction with record sales in the millions. And whereas the naming of the street, the Four Seasons Lane, will keep their name and music remembered forever in the Township of Union and around the world. And now therefore be resolved that Clifton People Jr., Mayor of the Township of Union, the County of Union, State of New Jersey, in recognition of this event, does hereby proclaim June 25th, Four Seasons Day in the Township of Union. Signed, Peter Cassidy, Joseph Florio, Brenda Restilo, and Anthony Perez, the committee. Let's hear a hand for the Four Seasons new family. Do you have two Four Seasons audio family? Okay. And of course, Frankie Valli. Congratulations all of you. Thank you again.
I think I would like to take a moment to actually introduce all the children separately. First we have Danielle and Lisa, the Gaudio family. Darcel DeVito, Tony Valli, Bob Massey, and Nick Massey's wife, Mrs. Massey. Next, I'd like to thank the manager of Costco, Dennis Dingiven. But first, I'd just like to say thank you to Costco for their enthusiastic commitment to the local community and its rich history, which was right here. They landed on top of the bowling alleys, which was never known back then. That was 18 years ago. Costco and their employees generously provided the chairs, refreshments, and printing of today's event. So we want to say thank you for that. And now, Dennis's associate, Jim Keating. Where's Jim?
Hi, thanks for everyone for coming out today. We just want to, show our support for being a good community member of Union Township. We're glad that everybody showed up today, and we're glad to participate in anything that, to bring history to the Township of Union. Thank you.
Now I found my glasses. There is so much that can be said about Mr. Walt Gollander. Not only about his extensive professional experience in the music industry, which dates back to the group's early beginnings, but also his incredible foresight to come to this very spot in 1989 to photograph this piece of history. Most of us knew about this popular establishment. It has been a part of New Jersey folklore for almost 50 years. But only Walter Gollander realized that if the demolition teams were done, people would wonder what the Four Seasons place looked like. The sign on the back of your program is depicted in the Tony Award-winning show Jersey Boys. And with the inevitable rumor of a Jersey Boys movie, this place will one day be known on an even larger scale. So before I bring Walt up, I'd like to extend a huge thanks to him for keeping the history alive, so the rest of the world is lucky to see with their own eyes the sign that the Jersey Boys, at the Four Seasons, named their group after. Walt, would you please come up?
Jerry and the others have thanked Costco for all of their contributions, and the reason we're here today with the chairs and the water and the good feeling and the good ambiance that we have. But if it were not for Audrey Rockman, where is she hiding? If it were not for Audrey Rockman, over there. She's over there. Audrey Rockman, stand up because you're short. No, stay up, stay up. It takes time to focus. Audrey Rockman was the first piece of the puzzle, and if she had not contacted James Petreka, up you go. Get his good side on the left. There's only so much time we're allotted according to the union. If Audrey had not contacted James in a very, very fortuitous way, I would still be sitting home in West Orange looking at my pictures doing nothing important. So I've had the pictures because I had the foresight to capture something historically that I knew might be germane in the future. So we have two key pieces, starting with Audrey, the bus lady, and beyond, who's made, I believe, 13 visits to Joe Long's house up in Roseland, right? 13. And James, can't say enough about you. And without them calling me, I would not be here. So much for the opening to garner your attention. I used to bowl with my girlfriend Sheila at the bowling alley. I would go in to see the music groups because I happen to like music, and I was taken with singers who had high falsetto voices like Jay Black, fellow named Al Alberts, who never made it. David Whitfield, who, by the way, people had the first recording of Cara Mia on the London label. Did you know that, Tony? Yeah. David Whitfield. I have it in the car. I left a copy of Joey Harrison, but oh, Dave. I'm talking over you, you're talking over me, but it's all right. We'll edit it out in the mix. No, David Whitfield had the great version of Cara Mia with Annunzio Mantovani's orchestra. Which you're too young. So, all right. So I was always given to the high voice, whether it was Del Shannon or James Petrecca when he gets excited, and Al Alberts and Johnny Ray, and I realized that I, like many of us, are thrilled by the high falsetto, right? How can you not like something like that? So I would get my Star Ledger dining and dancing page, and I would go out to the clubs, and I would hope one night I would see the Savoys and Stephen Craig Village with the legendary Joe Stefanelli, but he was at the Silhouette in the Mount Prospect Avenue. And I ended up at all the clubs where they had high voice singers, and the Four Lovers were over there. They didn't get the job to continue working there. We have some hostile people here. But I loved them, and I started hanging out with show business people. How's that for nice feedback control, right? I feel like Eddie Ventura on a good day. And the Four Lovers prevailed. They had different lead singers in the background. They had Freddie Carl. They had Hugh Garrity. They had a lot of people filling in, but there was always Frankie Valli with the high multi-voice, octave voice. It fascinated me, and I wrote about him. I wrote the first story ever published in Bim Bam Boom magazine. I thought I had a great story here in 1972, but then Eddie Engel came along and took my story to the next level in Bim Bam Boom, and also caused the poster to fall down. And over here we had a super article by Eddie Engel in Time Barrier Express. Mr. Stefanelli, you have your copy of this, I'm sure. And then the best story of all, forget about that. The best story of all, as I mentioned on the Don K. Reed show, and we give credit to other people, James, we give credit to those who deserve credit. Rex Woodard went out to Las Vegas and interviewed Dickie DeVito, the late brother of Thomas DeVito, and he came up with a super story. I was impressed. It takes a lot to impress me, I think. He even pictures and talks about, this is Rex Woodard, talks about Frank Catana, an accordion player. How many people knew? From Joe over here to my Uncle Harry, did you ever know there was an accordion player in the Varietons? Raise your hands. That's an honest response. Who knew? Who knew? Anybody? Charles. Who knew? Here, look. Frank Catana. Hold it. Frank Catana's dead, but he was an accordion player, Audrey, and never got any credit. Hugh Garrity was in there for a while, as I said, but Rex Woodard wrote the supreme best story of all time. You can get a copy by contacting me. For 30 cents, I'll go to Kinko and I'll send you out a copy. But he wrote a great story from the mouth of Nick DeVito, and it's got pictures of Frankie Valli playing the upright bass, if you will. Mr. Joe Stefanelli, upright bass, which you know about because you were there on Columbia. It was the worst that could happen. You're warming up today. I'll get a coffee later. Watch this. There's a lot of good in them. Inside stories, inside stories. The Four Lovers became the Four Seasons in 1961. They took the name from there, and we are here. If you want to learn more, don't ask me. I got such a headache, I have to sit down, and I'll be over here in Section A, right next to Charles Alexander. Goodbye and good luck. Did I do all right? Oh, hold on. On a scale, he likes when I do that. On a scale of 0 to 10, am I a 10 or a 4?
And with a headache.
No, not in person. Do the one thing that we love.
Why don't you come out?
Again, one more time. That's history. That's his father's great line. Again.
Why don't you come out?
I'm sorry I invited him. The last time he'll do a bowling alley. Jerry, get back up here.
50 years ago, Bob Gaudio received his baptism into the world of rock and roll with another New Jersey group, the Royal Teens. This fantastic band was composed of 16-year-old Billy Dalton on guitar, 14-year-old Billy Crandall on tenor, sax, 16-year-old Bob Gaudio on piano, and 17-year-old Tom Austin on drums, with all four doing the vocals. Together, this group rolled out chart-topping hits, the most famous of which is Short Shorts, written, of course, by Bob Gaudio and Tom Austin. Tom Austin is here today to celebrate an old friendship by giving and sharing some insights on how Bobby got started and how the Royal Teens first met Frankie Valli and the Romans. Tom. Last minute change. Just like what I'm saying. But anyway, Tony Valli wants to say something to you. So before Tom Austin, I'd like to bring up Tony Valli. I'm sorry. All the kids, all the Jersey all the Jersey girls.
We are the original Jersey girls. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here and your support. Change in program. I have little brothers, and they're graduating 8th grade this evening, and so we're all on our way into Long Island from here. So we really wanted to say a few very special words. And I'll turn the mic over to Danielle Gaudio.
I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for coming, and I feel badly that you're all standing there in the sun and we're in the shade, but we didn't plan that. But we're happy that it's not raining today and it's a beautiful day. And I just have something that I'd like to read to the crowd from Rick Ellis. Wrote this up for us so that we could just read a little bit to you. Almost 50 years ago, four guys who were known sometimes as the Four Lovers, or the Topics, or the Village Voices, or the Romans, and maybe even the Andrews Sisters, if it would have gotten them a record contract or a club date, auditioned for the owner of a certain bowling alley. It was a desperate move for a group that was desperate. Desperate to get something going, desperate to pay the rent, desperate to find an identity as a group with one name and a new sound. Well, they flunked the audition. That's right, they couldn't even book a bowling alley, which was about as close to rock bottom as you can get in the music business. Fortunately, they lingered in the parking lot outside that bowling alley long enough for one of them to stare for a while at a neon sign that said, Four Seasons Lanes and Lounge. Being four Jersey boys, our heroes, Frankie, Bob, Tommy, and Nick, figured that if they couldn't get the gig, they could at least steal the name. Well, folks, the world turns on such moments, and in that moment, the name, the identity, and the sound of the Four Seasons were born. The neon sign is long gone, but three of those four guys are still around. Tommy DeVito, Frankie Valli, and Bob Gaudio. And today, there aren't three prouder Jersey boys anywhere. On behalf of all of them and all of their children and grandkids, thanks for putting the Four Seasons name back on a sign in the state that will always define exactly who and what they are.
And keeping with the family members, her oldest sister, I only do that just to play. Okay, just to start playing. Lisa Gaudio, beautiful Lisa Gaudio.
I just want to say, I know my father would love to have been here, and Frankie, but of course we have family issues, and we have an illness in our family, and Frankie's got 2 kids graduating, so I just want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting the town of Union, and I think this is wonderful. Thank you for having us. Thank you, Pastor. Dark Bell,
Here she comes. My father is very disappointed he couldn't be here as well, but he wants to let you all know that he's very honored for the recognition, and he wants to thank and acknowledge everyone that made this day possible. Thank you. This is the reader of the group. We have to put it way down here because I take the genes in the family stage. Of course, my 2 beautiful children, I would like to thank Dario and Olivia Polchi, along with Jarcel's children, Tyler and Thomas Collins, and our little guys here, okay, Cyrus and Dilly, Danielle's children. Lisa's children are grown and gone, as we all are praying for on a daily basis. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, Bobby and my dad put together a little speech, and I'm going to read it for you. They are very, very disappointed that they can't be here, but of course we represent them and are absolutely thrilled. This is really quite an honor in our home state, where we all are still here raising our children on the East Coast. So here we go, from Vivaldi to New York restaurant to a Union, New Jersey bowling alley to 4 guys who made it into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and now the Four Seasons Lane. Why steal hubcaps when you can steal a name, especially a good one? Both Frankie and I are overwhelmed, and I'm reading this from Bob Gaudio's perspective, just so you know, okay? Because I don't call Frankie Frankie. He'd break my legs. Both Frankie and I are overwhelmed with what has happened to us over the last 50 years. Remarkable, fantastic, unbelievable, lucky, all of the above. But most of all, we are proud to say that this all started in a state that has more loyalty per square mile than any place in the entire world. We thank all of you who showed up today, and even those who didn't. Much, much thanks for the support and love you have given our little success of a show on the other side of the Hudson called the Jersey Boys. A successful invasion, we'd like to call it. One thing we all should never forget. New York is just an island, but New Jersey is the beginning of the United States. Who loves you, baby? Frankie and Bob Gaudio. That's who loves you. Okay. And they were just kind of wondering, just for something for future, that maybe they could put a toll booth on the street because they don't have enough revenue coming in at this point. Okay, and then on a personal note, I would like to say that my father has told me, and I'm very, very proud to call him Dad. He's a lot of things to a lot of people, but to have him as Dad is pretty remarkable. He has always told me to dream and dream big, never to be afraid to dream, that dreams really do come true. These guys came from nothing, all of them, all 4 of them. Look at what's happened. I mean, this is history in the making. But along with those dreams, just the phenomenon of the explosive nature of what they were doing, have done for 50 years and are currently continuing to do, is vision. And without that, we have no hope. And without hope, we have no faith. And that being said, all that being said, none of them, not one of them, has ever forgotten where they come from. And that's the most important thing, where you come from. Dream big, but never forget where you come from. It's an honor to be here today. My cousin Joanne is in the audience, who I love and adore. Poppy, who this occasion would not have been complete without his cigar. And very, very dear friends from Stephen Cream Village that I remember from when I was just a young girl. I'm still a young girl, but I was a much younger girl at the time. Joe Stefanelli. Good friends, family, that's what it's all about, and support. Without support, none of this would be happening. Thank you so much. This is an incredible honor.
Okay, before anybody has to leave, Tony, before you leave, we'd like to have the children unveil the street sign.
Guys, 1, 2, 3.
I think it's the towel. Nobody wants the towel.
We don't want the towel. I love that. Can we raise it?
It should be like this, like the...
I'll tell you this.
Thank you very much. Thank you.